Hey everyone, it's Types, and as you can see on screen here, I have an image of the entire standard metagame. Not actually, but kind of. It's Dragapult. Dragapult's super good, but there is hope. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll talk about it. But today we're taking a look at Abyssai, the metagame from this new set, which, by the way, Abyssai is the Japanese expansion, which is going to come out internationally as Pitch Black. They are essentially identical, and honestly, the sets. Well, I was gonna say it's really good compared to the last sets we've been getting. It's really good. Those sets have been Mega Evolution was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, this set's pretty good. You're mostly looking at a lot of staples like Boss, which isn't a new card, Lilies, which was a new card, and some good trainers like Premium Power Pro and stuff like that. These are good cards and fun cards to some extent. Same thing with Mega Kangaskhan. This is a legitimately good Pokemon that can be a good attacking option, but is also mostly a supporting option there. In terms of good main Pokemon, you're looking at, I guess, Mega Lucario and Alakazam, which are decent. But then we get to Phantasmal Flames. Phantasmal Flames, just so terrible. I'm not gonna lie. This set it's really bad. I think it has almost no good cards, to be honest. It has a few that are all right. And then you look at Ascended Heroes. Ascended Heroes, I guess, actually does have a lot of really good cards. For example, it has Dragapult in the set, but like that doesn't count. At least not to me. I'm talking about the new cards from the set, and it had Pokepad, and then it had like a couple of other cards. Perfect Order, same idea. I guess literally it also had Pokepad and had a few okay cards, but mostly not very good. Same thing with Chaos Rising. I'd say Chaos Rising, again, not particularly good. Special Red card, I guess, is pretty good. Played in most of the top deck. I mean, played in Dragapult and in some other stuff. So you got some okay stuff in this set, but overall those sets have been pretty disappointing. I will also say, unfortunately, I don't think the celebrations set, the 30th celebration set, is going to be very good. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but certainly what we've seen so far, all the cards are, I'd say, bad. Unfortunately, like they're all not good, slash bad. So that is unfortunate. But before that, we do have Abyssai slash Pitch Black. This set is pretty good. I will mention we are mostly today talking about new decks, but I do want to talk about the other new cards. There are some nice darkness type buffs or like decks to or buffs to darkness decks there, so that's kind of cool. Like this GU, but it's not. Well, one, I don't think GU is super good. It's not super interesting either, but it is a nice buff to Toxtricity decks, I guess. And then there's also Volt Lightning Energy. This card's actually pretty good for Lightning decks, and Lightning decks are going to get a buff, but it's not creating a new deck. And also, Lightning isn't super good, unfortunately, in Standard right now. There are some other cool things. I will still mention, I think Fossil Excavation Site is legitimately very good. This set, I made a video ranking the cards from the set, and Fossil Excavation Site is definitely very good, except the cards around it aren't very good. So that's a weird card to talk about there. There were also just a bunch of pretty good trainers. The trainer lineup in the set's pretty good. I will say the card Dark Bell is one of the better cards from the set. I don't think this card's crazy good. I think it's pretty good. I know some people think it's very good. It's kind of weird with confusion because that is a coin flip thing, and you can kind of retreat out of it, but there are ways to stop your opponent retreating. It also doesn't work on Darkness Pokemon, which is supposed to matter. I don't know if it's going to really actually matter in the metagame, but it is an interesting card here nonetheless, I suppose. And it is good in Dragapult. It's good in Dragapult. It's good in other stuff as well, but it is a meaningful card to note there. There's also the supporting card Gwen, which I do think is pretty good here. Letting you drop to 6 cards if you discard 2 non-rule box Pokemon. 6 new cards there. It's 3 for Pokemon discarded. And I'm trying to think of other generally good cards. I mean, there's some fun new decks like Wailord and stuff. So honestly, the set is super good all in all. But today we're taking a look at the actual new decks and saying how good can they be. Also, we are looking at PokeCat Book, by the way. So we got translations automatically. That's what I have. I don't know if I should do this, but it is funny. Especially this first one's called Completely Empty. At first I was like, what on earth does that mean? But this is referring to the Slowbro here, which has the attack all out attack. I do want to mention there is a Slowpoke with 70 HP that is Psychic. This is good, kind of, but it's not even been played in the Slowpoke deck or in the Slowking decks really, which is worth mentioning. Slowking's also not like it's really fun, but it's not super good. It's decent, certainly one of the better decks in the game that aren't Dragapult, but it's not some crazy good deck. But also you're not necessarily looking to play bit of a pop in that deck. So do want to mention that I did a video where I ranked the cards from the set, and some people were like saying that it was like absurd. One that didn't even like rank Slowbro, which maybe that's fair. I generally don't rank Prevos, but also it is good here, but in other decks it's not as good. But did want to acknowledge that. But the Slowbro, it does 210 if you have no cards in hand for one Psychic. That's pretty good. We see it with a Festival Lead Engine with Swirlix. Not exactly sure why that's the build they've gone with here, but it is interesting. It allows you to, I guess, set up consistently or something. I'm not sure. It definitely feels kind of sketchy. I've not actually played. I've never played with Swirlix. Actually, Swirlix is really interesting because it is a card that works with Telepathic Psychic Energy. I was thinking about this. I played Festival Lead Control pre-rotation a little bit. That was not good, but it was funny. Well, I don't know if it was funny. It was funny for me to talk about. It wasn't actually funny to play. It was very slow. I played against someone, and it was like their first game ever, and I was playing Professor League Control, and well, we tied. So regardless, Swirlix is funny here. You can use it with Telepathic Psychic Energy and Slowbro, or it's in Slowpoke there, and that allows you to go ahead and set up your board better, which is really good. I've talked about Telepathic Psychic Energy, and you're looking for a setup piece and an attacker generally that are different. So you look at different decks like Slowking, you look at Alakazam, they're not really meeting those criteria. You look at like Latias CX kind of works with those. You have, but like only kind of sort of. It's not a Pokemon you're looking to get that often, not a Pokemon getting knocked out. So Swirlix here with Telepathic Psychic Energy, a really interesting inclusion there. Also for Air Balloon, I guess that makes sense, but it is interesting there. You are also looking at a low supporter count, supporters that aren't going to leave you with lots of cards in hand. So definitely a little sketchy with 6 supporters. We actually see Cassiopeia. Oh, I forgot about that card. Cassiopeia, super sick card. I legitimately forgot about this card. This card is actually super good. Okay. Looking at plays, it's not super good. However, looking at it paired with a new Silvally, this is so good, allowing you to have an ability to search essentially for any 2 cards if you have no cards in hand using your supporter. So anyways, Cassiopeia, search for any 2 cards. It's been so long since I thought about this card, but it's so sick. Then we got the Gladion also doing 80 more if you have no cards in hand. The deck is pretty straightforward. Well, I don't know. It's going to be some sequencing stuff, but in terms of what you're trying to do, you're just doing big damage. This is actually kind of similar to the Grand Bull deck, which was legitimately... Also, it's a fairy deck. I don't like fairy decks, if you know me, because... Well, my channel's 10 types. If you don't know that, you should subscribe and watch more of my videos. But anyways, this deck was pretty decent and is a similar idea to Slowbro. It's actually very similar. It has less damage. It does less damage, but the Dexter had less HP at the time. So Slowbro is kind of cool. Also, it does hit weakness on his weakness on Dragapult EX with Lotus Clefairy EX there. So that's pretty nice. Overall, it's okay, I guess. I wasn't actually necessarily planning on talking about this before. I guess I want to talk about the new decks, but I want to talk about the ones that we're seeing play, and this one won a tournament, so I'm super stoked about that. But then we have Lurantis CX. Also surprised to see this one winning a tournament. These are small tournaments, so just winning one isn't like crazy or anything, but this is Lurantis CX. This deck's actually super interesting, and this Pokemon, it does 60, but does 200 more, so 260 if you're healed this turn for 1 grass. That's actually super, super good for 1 energy, and healing a Pokemon isn't that hard. We see the Shuckle, which just heals. It's like Munkidori. It actually doesn't move the damage. It does heal, though. I believe Munkidori doesn't heal, so you can actually do that there. Also, we see Fennel. That's kind of funny. Interesting against certain things. I was playing a deck. I was playing a Frostlass deck, and my opponent played Fennel against me. It almost won in the game, but I wasn't quite able to get them there. But Fennel's an interesting card. It does heal as well, which is important to the deck, though I don't think it's actually worth running here. But it is funny. And good against Dragapult in some situations as well. If you're looking for a Dragapult counter, is it what you're looking for? Probably not, but it is still interesting to consider. And if you don't know that card exists, which I kind of forgot about, then yeah, it is worth considering, I suppose. But then you have the Ogre Ponds and Energy Switch to kind of power stuff up a little easier, because you are obviously going to need energy on your attacker, and you do also need it on the Shuckle there. So that's interesting. You have Team Rocket's Venture Bomb as well to put damage counters on yourself. Ultimately, the biggest issue with this card is that you're not going to have damage counters on yourself a lot of the time. So while you can heal yourself pretty easily, you need to get damage before you can heal yourself, otherwise it doesn't work. So it's really interesting here. I don't know if there's really anything to this stack in the long run, if it can be good, but I mean, you look at damage and it's pretty good. You can also play the Stadium to damage yourself, but that's, again, kind of sketchy. Overall, all the options are all kind of sketchy, but the card does have some legitimate potential, and it's an okay card. I haven't heard too much talk about, so it's a decent card here. Then we have Mega Chandelure EX. This deck I don't think is very good. We see 3 people playing it to a win here. Whoa, these 3 lists are all very different. Okay, so I'll talk about this one here first. I didn't dive into this too much before recording this. Obviously, I've been looking at the meta a bunch, but these specific lists, this one here, well, what the card does, it increases your active Pokemon's for 2 costs by 1 colorless for each one you have in play, and you do, well, you have 350 HP, you're a Stage 2 Mega, you do 130, 50 more for each colorless, and your opponent's active Pokemon's for 2 costs. So you're looking at different Pokemon. One, Latias EX, super bad for this, because then your opponent has no retreat cost, like none at all. So then it doesn't matter how many Chandelures you have in play that you're not doing. Well, you're doing some damage, you're doing 130, but it is pretty rough. So that is bad. We do see Mega Nancy, we see some other Pokemon to do some stuff. Mega Chandelure is a very big part of the stack. With Clefairy EX and Dragapult EX, you can just one-shot them. That's pretty nice. And, well, I guess if they have Air Balloon, you do need 1 Mega Chandelure on your bench and 1 on the active there. Then they'll have a retreat cost of 1, and then you can go ahead and just one-shot them, which with Clefairy EX there. So that's worth mentioning. That situation, I guess, probably could arise. I mean, they probably won't Air Balloon. I do think Air Balloon is, I mean, it's just a really good card in general. I would not say it's bad to put in Pult, but you see that it's running Liz Clefairy for, Pult. You can just attack with Liz Clefairy EX as well. Looking at this, I guess you power yourself up using Crispin. You can also Wallies, but it is 2 energy here. It does run Neo Upper, so that is a thing you can do. And you just have some different psychic Pokemon, but you're looking to get a bunch of Chandelures in play to increase their retreat cost. We've seen cards like this in the past. Generally, they are not that good. I mean, we saw Leafeon VMAX be decent, but that was both a lower stage. Well, I guess it's a VMAX, which isn't a stage 1, but it is a lower stage there. And then also, it's a card that had easier enablers, I'd say, and was more consistent. So you're looking at Mega Chandelure EX. Also, I will mention, potentially Tool Scrapper could be a card to play in the stack to get rid of Air Balloons. Honestly, Tool Scrapper is a card I thought was going to see a lot more play than it has. Has it seen play? I mean, I don't know. It's not really seen very much play in its current time and standard here, but something you might want to include there. But overall, I mean, the deck is kind of boring. What it does is just not super good, I wouldn't say. Or this version of the deck. But if you want to play it, you could play it. Then we have this build here. This is a mill deck using the Chandelure EX and the single prize Chandelure, which has the ability both players draw a card. And then this Comfy, which each player draws 3 cards, plays 0/6 Machinations. But does also play Accompanying Flute for trapping. We just did a Tool Scrapper here as well, which is also, well, I was going to say it's useful for Chandelure, I guess, if you attack with it, but wait, sorry, no. Is this mill? I'm not actually sure. Well, you can also attack with a Chandelure, which is 30 for each card in your opponent's hand, which is kind of funny. It's kind of like Mega Frostlass there. Overall, is it good? I mean, probably. It's probably not very good, but it is still really interesting being able to, actually do this mill strategy where you force a opponent to draw cards. Also, what on earth is that Clefairy? Is that a Gust card? I think it is. I'm going to quickly look, though. Yeah, it's a Gust card. I've not played this card, believe it or not. But it is an interesting inclusion there. We see Maractus to trap as well. It's been, I guess, not that long since I've seen it, but it is still interesting there. And then we also see that it is running 0/6, which is very important to get rid of cards from their hand so that they don't have, just so many cards in their hand and have so many choices. 0/6 normally isn't very good. 0/6 Machinations. If you know me, again, you probably know I'm not a big fan of the card, as in, I think it's not very good. Generally, it's not very good because if your opponent has a bunch of cards in their hand, they're not playing them probably because they're just not very good. At that situation, yes, they could be useful later. So I'm not going to sit here and say that it's never useful. You could pair it with different hand disruption cards, but in this situation, your opponent's actually not. They don't have the opportunity to play them because you're going to be giving them the cards to draw, and then they won't. You can make them start to discard before they have the chance to potentially play those cards. So that's interesting. 0/6 is definitely good here, and also if you don't do it, they're just going to have so many cards in their hand and then they're just going to go ahead and they're going to play those cards and make you lose the game because you've given them like everything they need to set up. Yes, you are milling them, like kind of, I guess, making them closer to losing, but it is still going to be pretty sketchy there. So that is something that is interesting. I've played decks like this before. I played with Comfy some. It is a way, it just forces both players to draw 3. It is a way to potentially win the game. It is, I guess, the best mill card for milling them out, like as in making them draw, like, or not be able to draw a card at the very end of the game, but that's the only use case. But it is still pretty funny there. Then we have this last list here. This one's actually kind of similar as well. We see Comfy. This one is, I think, more control focused. We see LGM to move their energies. We get again see the Clefairy, which is still an interesting card. I've, again, not really seen people play that card. And we see Denon Sparse as well. And we see Legacy Energy as well there. So we also see Airy. That's another card that disrupts their hand. We see more Xerotic Machinations. Again, like aiming more for that mill strategy, it looks like. The deck's funny. The Chandelure and the Mega Chandelure EX, both of those are somewhat interesting control cards. Also, Chandelure is like a draw engine, I suppose. It's a pretty terrible draw engine because it only draws one card on a stage 2 and also draws your opponent a card. So the drawing them a card can be an upside, and it kind of is, but like not really. Usually it's just a downside. So really funny deck though. Then we have not the right deck. So we have some other. Okay, so the apparently these decks here. I guess we have Lightning here with the new Bolt Lightning Energy, which is like fine. It doesn't actually synergize with the Electric, but it is still kind of cool. We also see a Stevens Metagross Aegislash, or not Aegislash, Doublade deck. This is just kind of, I don't know. It's not a new deck. It's I don't know why it's here, but it's fine, I suppose. And it's got my card. I don't think this card is bad. I just don't play it because it never works for me. It's Precious Trolley as well. Then we have a Lone Executor EX with not Mega Extra, the 2-price Executor EX, which does what's this card do? I have not played with this card, believe it or not. It does 60 and then 60 to a Pokemon with damage counters on your opponent's bench, or 200 for 3. That seems bad. Yeah, I was gonna like add something to it, saying like, oh, you can discard the energies of the drill burr, then get them back, which I guess you can do, and then playing the actual EX isn't too much of a commitment, but it still doesn't seem that good. And we then see Mega Zygarde. So I guess you're powering up the Mega Zygarde using your Lone Executor EX, which you're powering up using your Crispin, and you need the Fighting in hand. This is super weird. I really don't believe it or not. I think this is very good, but it is really, really funny there. And like, I can't believe it plays Genesect. Like, not that Genesect's bad, but I feel like you definitely don't have room for the Genesect. They actually have an extra tool with the memory core or core memory or whatever at times. But that's funny there. Really, really just not a deck I was expecting to see before looking at this list, but it is really funny. Then we have Toucannon. Toucannon does 60, 10 more, or 60, 20 more for each bench Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's. Same effect of the attack, or I guess like damage addition as well as Clefairy EX, but starts with 40 more, and also can draw a card every turn, which is like okay, I suppose. Certainly the card you will take. Then you got the Noctowl engine, or specifically you have Air Zero Under Depths. That's really I was gonna say it's really important. The other deck does not run it. The other deck has like some control stuff. Team Rocket's Chingling, a card I have not played with. I'm not sure. I've not played with much. If I have played with the Talonflame as well. This card is from Perfect Order. Is that a discard a random card from their hand? I believe that's what that card is. Let me check real quick. I remember there was a card that was on my radar before it came out. Yes, a random card from their hand on a coin flip. So that's okay. And I don't know if it's good, but it's okay. It's an interesting card here. We actually see the Fletchinder. The Fletchinder, I believe, also searches for, or Fletchling. That one searches for, is it basics? Yeah, with fighting resistance, or Pokemon with fighting resistance. So it actually finds a bunch of cards in the list. Really funny there. And Fan Rotom as well to get that basic. We have like Lost Disruption. Oh, also I didn't talk about this card, but it's the new supporter, Rust Syndicate card, I believe. It discards energy from their Pokemon if one of your Pokemon is knocked down last turn. So kind of cool. Then we have some other decks here. We got Tyranitar plus Annihilate. Yep. By the way, Tyranitar, kind of a nasty card. It item locks in the active. It's kind of like the Jellicent EX. It's actually it's not bad. It's not bad. We got Raging Bolt Ionos, and now we got big deck here. This deck is probably one of the big talking points from the set. And this stack is I'll just call it Dhelmise. Or no, I'll call it Hide and Sneak. But Hide and Sneak featuring Dhelmise, and that's the main thing we're looking at here. You do have some other options, but the main thing is going to be Dhelmise, and that's what I'm focusing on today. I've been talking about other stuff about it in the past, but the more people are playing it, the more clear it's like it's Dhelmise. You do 170 for one Psychic if you have four more Pokemon with the ability Phantom Hide in your discard pile, of which there are theoretically a total of 16 you could play. You're going to see less in the deck. This one's running 10, it looks like, and you see Lotus Clefairy EX as well. We also see the Patrat, a card I have not really seen played much at all. I personally don't play much Munkidori. I play it some, though. And I also play against Munkidori, obviously some, and I have not played the Patrat, and there have been few situations where I've looked to play it. I will say it does turn off your own as well, but it is an interesting card to see just when it sees play. I guess I actually wasn't paying attention at the most recent regional tournament how much it's seen play, as it was legal there. Looks like it saw just a little bit of play, which is kind of what I was expecting. But yeah, I mean, the deck is theoretically really good against Dragapult. The ability also does protect you from Dragapult, but you're not really looking to put the Pokemon with the ability in play too much, and it protects you from Dragapult on the bench specifically. So, I mean, or it's opposite damage cards being placed on you from like effects of attacks and abilities, something like that. I don't remember exactly the wording of it, and it doesn't matter for this. It's going to stop your Munkidori's and Dragapults and stuff. So that's pretty nice there, but it's not. I mean, it is able to one-shot Dragapult, which is good, but I don't think this deck's going to push Dragapult off the face of the map or anything like that. And I think against general decks, it's pretty mediocre. You look at the deck and you're like, yes, this deck is capable of doing, some pretty nice stuff in the early game, right? Legitimately very good. That being said, after that, you're just not doing too much. I guess you have Lotus Clefairy EX. You're just like never going to attack with that, I don't think, though. I mean, you're definitely getting knocked out every turn as well. You got Blood and Wrestling EX at the very end to do some more damage, but like, I mean, it's some more damage. It's not crazy damage, though. It's fine, I don't know. Blood and Luna EX plus Dhelmise, is that really a deck? You have the Baynet. As far as I'm aware, the Baynet isn't super good. I mean, it doesn't do much damage. It does 80, and then it also searches for, I believe it searches for any card. It's not a terrible card, to be honest. It is searchable off of Telepathic Psych Energy, which is kind of cool. And yeah, searches for any card. So, I mean, I guess people are using that some. And it's kind of interesting. Also interesting to see the Flutter main here. Not a card I was necessarily expecting to see too much. It is a card that people are playing some with Telepathic Psych Energy, though, so kind of cool there. Getting the cards in the discard is doable, specifically through the use of the supporter card Gwen. Also, I would like to see more supporters. I always say, like, just a bunch of Lilies is not enough. And 4 Lilies is like a little short. We see 2 Lilies and 3 Gwen. I'd like to see some more, but it does run 4 boss. I guess a big thing is you're just picking off the bench Pokemon. You can pick off Meowth EX as well. Meowth EX is now going to be a really big liability against this deck in particular. I definitely expect this deck to be the top deck from the new set. So far, that's what we've seen. Mostly. So yeah, it is interesting. You kind of add different attack options as well. We see like Moltres here in this list. We see like Shaman, we see Shedinja. That's not what I was expecting. Shedinja, I don't remember this card super well. Now we can finish stuff off. Okay, yeah, it's not immune to damage from EXs, but it doesn't give a prize. I don't think it's particularly good in many situations. It's also like a stage 1, but it is interesting, I guess. Then we see this list running pretty similarly. So overall, I mean, the deck has some stuff going for it. It is currently being played a bunch and good against Dragapult. I don't think it's, I mean, there are a lot of decks that are pretty good against Dragapult, but some people are like, yeah, this deck kind of cooks Dragapult. Usually those decks are just like decent against Dragapult. And also oftentimes not super good against other things. We see Psychic being legitimately really good right now. Psychic has been good in the past, but it's even better than it has been with the rise of Dragapult. We have like multiple Psychic decks that are very good right now. They're like top 10. I think it's been a while since we've seen that. Psychic traditionally is good, but normally it's just like some Gardevoir deck or something like that. But right now it's really amazing with different decks. So interesting to see if this will be good enough to knock off Dragapult, though I really do not expect it to be. I've heard some people say that. I think that's mostly hopium there, but it is cool. Then we got Mega Extra Drill. This deck is capable of just getting a Mega Extra Drill and play it just 330 for 5 or 200 for 3, and you use it with Metang to get energy in play and the Genesect DX as well. I think the deck is fine. It is a trolley reliant deck as well. Also, we see this supporter. I don't even remember what that card does. Let me look it up real quick here. It is a mega promo in Japan only, I believe. It is who even is this? Grisham, heal 50 from all Pokemon in play. Oh, okay. That's like Fern. I guess it's better than Fern. But yeah, you have Metagross. Like, honestly, Metagross is a pretty good attacking option. I haven't played with Metagross much. I played it a little in Slowking and have yet to play Metal, or Metal with Metagross. So tell me in the comments if you want to see me play that, or if you play that and you found it good. But it is an interesting option there. I don't think my Astral, though, is a legitimately particularly good deck. I think it's okay. It's being played in Japan right now and doing decently. It is falling like every week, but I think it's okay-ish. I'd be pretty surprised if it's better than Mega Starmie. I think it's going to end up being, in the long run, I mean, I think we're going to be talking about hide and sneak some. I don't think we'll be talking about Mega Extra much in the long run. It'll be kind of forgotten about. I think it's, kind of like maybe Mega Lopunny. I think it's worse than Mega Lopunny there. I'd say it's probably worse than Mega Starmie as well. But anyways, tell me down below your thoughts on these decks in the comment section. If you think I'm being too low, too high on any of these decks, there's some really fun decks in this set. As I said, there's so many fun decks. Like, I talked about a bunch in this video. There's even more I didn't talk about. But I hope you all enjoyed. Huge shout out to my YouTube members as well. But make sure you like and subscribe. It really just helps support me in the channel, and I really appreciate it. But I hope you all enjoyed, and as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.